You talk about 13 years in banking, and one day you're a banker, and 2 years later you're in Sleep Country. When you were deciding what opportunity to pursue, whether it be this or that, or whether you be in this industry or that industry, what characteristics of the opportunity attracted you to form the Sleep Country?
That's a great question. When I started Sleep Country, I had known my two business partners 5 years before that. And one of the things I think that's important is I chose banking because I needed to figure out the rest of my life and how I was going to apply those business skills.
And by being a commercial lending officer, you would have seen the business plans of lots of different industries.
Absolutely. Learning cash flow, learning the understanding of management. I graduated in 1982, which was a recessionary time. So, as a young 22-year-old, I was calling business owners and CFOs and their accountants and asking them which checks they would like to send back, which isn't necessarily the growth factor that people would normally expect in entrepreneurialism. It's actually how do you control the factors? The economic environment certainly has an impact. And so I saw a tremendous amount of learnings as it relates to great products fail because not a good management in tough times. Products or industries that were highly competitive and highly affected by the economy were actually some of those companies excelled even, or at least continued to exist because of the decisions that the management made and how good they were. So that was important. As Stephen Gord, the reason is that we started this business, we had two business partners. I have two business partners, and they had done the management buyout of Simmons Canada from Simmons US, which is a manufacturer. And when they approached me to start the company, I'd worked with them on a variety of businesses, including looking at this company, and we saw the opportunity. This industry, by the way, is quite appealing in many ways.
What makes it appealing? What are the sort of highlights that 20 years ago made you decide this was the opportunity?
So as an industry, when we looked at it, first off, there is this recurring demand. You replace your mattress every 8 to 10 years, which is great. There's some long-term growth fueled by long-term favorable demographics. You got the aging baby boom. You have, the trend towards bigger bedrooms, cocooning. That place of respite for you. You have people buying vacation properties. There's also a tendency and a shift in mix where people are increasingly aware of the importance of sleep and the importance of a good bed, so they're trading up. And at the end of the day, this category isn't typical retail. It's not a fashion item. It's kind of a demands-need basis.
And no one sees what mattress you sleep on.
Absolutely. And people don't browse in mattress stores. They don't. I mean, they do. If they do, they need a life. Because when they walk through the doors of Sleep Country,
they're there to buy a mattress.
They're there to buy a mattress. So as we contemplated that category, from a retailing perspective, those are very interesting attributes. On the other side, from a retail landscape in our category 20 years ago, no one was really paying any attention to this category.
So there was an unmet need?
Absolutely. 50% of the market share was held by the department stores, the Bay, Sears, Eaton's at the time existed, the Brick, and Leon's. And their multi-departmental aspect doesn't necessarily cater to a specialty product like ours. And they didn't have the amount of availability of choice. The other 50% highly fragmented among a whole host of companies. And so we thought, really, if we designed a business that was really to address the customer before, during, and after the sale, that we could really change the way, I think, that the customer would expect to purchase a mattress. And we thought would actually make sure, if we did it right, that we could become the dominant player. So those are the things that attracted us into this industry. We think that the retail landscape was prime for it. And we also think that the industry itself was very appealing.